Hello everybody, welcome to episode 14, pitching, featuring the drama camera, new angle for when things get intense. My name is Ben Hartley, and on today's episode of Heart to Heart, we're gonna talk about what is failure. Hello everybody, welcome to episode 14 of Heart to Heart. We're talking about what is failure? Michael, everyone is always having this question about failure, and failure isn't a loss unless you don't learn something from it. What is the quotes about what failure is and isn't, and how it's impossible to fail as long as you learn along the way, and the best fail, they just fail sooner. There's all these notions of what failure is, and I like it. I like it, but I've also been trying to understand, at its essence, there's something that is actually wrong. There is such a thing as failure that you want to have nothing to do with. And I've been trying to define this, and so I've been thinking and stewing and journaling and writing, and I think I've got it. And I want to share this with you because it's so important as you step out and you design the life that you want to live. This is outside of growing your photography business. This is in parallel with being a great husband to your wife. This is in parallel with raising your kids with gratitude and respect. This is in parallel to again, whatever you're doing in life, doing it well. There is such a thing as failure, and it is something that you don't want to have anything to do with. This is my definition of failure. I want to express it to you, and I want to unpack it. Failure is letting someone else's opinion stop you from doing what is right. Let's say that again. Failure is letting somebody else's opinion of you stop you from doing what is right. Okay? Because this happens all the time in our life. We let what somebody else thinks about what I should be doing. We let what somebody else thinks should be my profession. We let what somebody else thinks about me stop me from stepping up and doing what's right. And this is why it transcends business. This is the case of you experiencing somebody being mistreated. Let's say on the sub, you're on the bus, you're in the subway, and somebody is harassing somebody in a seat next to you. And every part of you wants to say something. Every part of you wants to step up and stand with that person who's being harassed, to defend them, to come alongside them, to tell the jerk to off, just go, right? But we don't sometimes. Sometimes we fail because we're too concerned about what somebody else's opinion of me is gonna have. And it stops us from stepping up to the plate and doing what's right. If I step up and I do this thing, maybe I'll make a fool of myself, maybe I'll look weak, maybe I'll make a scene, maybe I won't know what to say, maybe I'll say the wrong thing, maybe I misunderstood, and we don't speak, we don't say, we don't do the right thing, right? Maybe it's your dream to be a full-time photographer, but you're letting the opinion of somebody else stop you from pursuing that. And if that is you, then you, my friend, are failing. If it is your dream to pursue being a full-time photographer, and it's just the opinion of mom or dad, or it's the opinion of your honestly your well-wishing friend, right? I want what's best for you. I just think maybe it should be a different job. They mean the best, but it's their opinion, and you're letting that stop you from doing what's right. I think you're failing. Let's talk about it this. I think that we in this life are called to show up. At some point in life, you were created to do great and meaningful things because you were created. You were created. You were put in this earth for a purpose, and that purpose is to show up, to speak your truth. This is why I make these videos. The reason I make these videos is to show up. I believe that I've got something to give, something to express, and I believe that you are called to show up. And maybe it's not in the same way. Maybe you don't go live on Facebook, and maybe you don't make some YouTube channel, but maybe you do speak up to that friend who needs you, right? Maybe you do say something. Maybe you do treat somebody differently. You're called to show up, and showing up is doing the right thing. Like when I unpack this and I say failure is letting somebody else's opinion of you stop you from doing what's the right thing. That right thing, that's a whole can of worms. Now we're getting into morality and we're getting into all kinds of mess. But I can tell you one thing, that the right thing to do is to show up. You are called in this life to show up, to speak your truth, to put yourself out there, to better the world. Look, there's a couple facts about this life that we live, and one of them is this, that you will encounter suffering, that it is hard, that this life is hard. But I can tell you something that is even more true than that, is that you are equipped, you're prepared, you are built to not only handle that suffering and handle that difficulty, but to actually turn it, to flip it, to make it better, to reduce the suffering and the pain for other people around you. I learned that from Jonas Peterson. But let me tell you this, that will only happen if you show up. And if you're letting somebody else's opinion of you stop you from showing up, I've got to say it's failure. Please. Mistakes will happen in this life. Stumbling blocks will occur. Faults, losses, mishaps, failures, if you want to call them that. But my definition of true failure is really, really bad. It's not only bad for you, because if you live in a life where you constantly are silent, you don't speak your truth, you don't design the life that you want to live, you don't step out, you don't show up because you're constantly shrunken by the opinions of other people, it will not only suppress you and crush you and leave you with bitterness, but that bitterness, it's going to seep. It's going to poison the people in your life. That bitterness will poison your husband. That bitterness will poison your children. That bitterness will poison your friends and your family. Do not let it. Do not let the opinions of other people stop you from showing up, stop you from doing what is right. You guys, if you like this video, please do me a favor. Can you share it? Can you share this message? Please do. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the little bell down below. When you ring that bell, it means that the next time I make a video, you're going to be notified, and that'll make you smile. That's my goal, is to make you guys smile. And then leave me a comment down below. What question would you like me to share my perspective on the next episode of Heart to Heart? Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much. My name is Ben Hartley. We'll see you in the next episode.